Hey everyone, it's NerfBoyProductions here, and today we get to take a look at Nerf Dog. I never thought I would actually get to the point where Nerf is coming out with dog toys, and oh boy did they ever. They came out with a lot of them. I picked up a lot of them, and I've spent the last 2 weeks playing with my dog with them, and I had to play with him for 2 weeks to give them the full test of time to make sure that, I know which ones wear down, which ones don't, because what's reviewing a dog toy if you don't test the wear and tear? So for the past 2 weeks, Charlie and I have been playing around with these things, and we're going to go one by one, tell you what I think of all the products. Now, here's the thing. Nerf came out with a ton of these dog toys, like a lot of them. So my sister, who was down in the States, because that's the only place I've seen them right now. She was down in the States, and I told her to pick up all the ones that look cool, not your generic ones. So she picked up the coolest ones, and we're going to go over all those today, because the regular ones you probably don't care about. These are the more interesting ones that are going to get a lot of sales. So let's take a look. Alright, I also want to mention, with all these Nerf toys, there's one that I did receive that I have lost in the making. I think I got a little bit of footage with it, but since then, Charlie has seemed to have thrown it somewhere. It's gone. No more Frisbee. Alright, so I'm gonna have the links and names to everything like on screen and in the description, because I don't know the names of all these products. For example, like this double-headed light up thing, I don't know what that's called, but it'll be in the description as well as on screen when I'm mentioning them. That's enough debriefing. Let's actually get started. Alright, let's come out of the gate strong with the blaster ball combo. So this is Nerf's latest attempt at a tennis ball launcher. It should be noted that Nerf has done dog toys in the past, and they've also done a launcher in the past. And this is the one I'm talking about. It's much bigger and requires you to do this massive draw with an elastic band. Pretty crazy, it's huge, it's dangerous. And I have used this thing, and quite frankly, the new design is much, much better. And here it is. It basically, it's a lot smaller, works the same way. It has a holster for a tennis ball there, as well as you can store one in the front there. The old one, you had to prime it back before you could put the ball in. This one, you could put the ball in, and you take this big piece, and you prime it back. And it's worth noting that there's a bunch of ratcheting points where you can pull it back to. So if you have a small dog, you don't want it to fetch as far, you can pull it halfway. If you have a big dog that needs to really run, all the way back. And if at any point you want to actually, release the tension without firing it, all you have to do is pull back on this a bit and click this little button, and then you can release all the tension from the spring. Same thing goes if I were to shoot the gun, and I didn't want to launch the tennis ball in here, but let's say I've shot the gun. Now it's not going to automatically slam back forwards. You actually have to press a button, push it forwards, and then from there you can ratchet back again. Pretty simple mechanism. Again, storage there, and it does fire much further than the original. It's more compact, it's more fun to use. It's got a really, really nice trigger pull on it. And if you check out where you load the ball in, as you can see there, it's basically just a big net sort of thing that you can throw everything in. So you could put more than tennis balls in here. I don't know if I'd do it, but it can be done, and that would be kind of fun. So this is the ball that the actual gun came with. It's just a regular tennis ball, but one thing I noticed right off the bat is that it's super squishy. I don't know if that's by design, because some of the other tennis balls aren't nearly as squishy. But this one that came with the blaster is definitely squishier. I don't know if that helps it fly through the air. It might just be a good idea to try and hold on to the actual Nerf ball as long as you can, because there's a good chance regular tennis balls aren't going to work as well in the launcher, just because of how squishy this is. If you see, there's kind of an air release hole, which is obviously not on a real tennis ball. Unless I'm a complete dummy, pretty dang sure there's no air release hole. So because of that, that probably has something to do with aerodynamics. But as you can see, this is the ball that Charlie's been playing with for 2 weeks. We made sure to give him the exact same one every time, just to see what he could really do to it. And as you can see, not much. I mean, the logo's wearing off, it's a little dirty, and a lot of the fuzz is lifting there. But really not too bad, and this will last a lot more launches. Okay, so now for the squeaky balls. These things come in a pack of 3, and they squeak a lot. Really, really loud squeaker, really good, and the squeaker doesn't bust at all. It's almost like there's a little whistle in there, and the whole thing works through air pressure. I hear a little bit of a bead in there or something, but here's another one, and I'm going to show you these things up close. So here's the pretty much pristine one that we have never given to Charlie, and squeaks and stuff, all very, very good. This is the one Charlie had after 2 weeks. He split it open like a regular tennis ball and removed the squeaker. As you can see there, that is what you are very familiar with. Dogs murdering tennis balls. Squeaker, little hole there is still there, but yeah, this one bursts open, and that's what a lot of tennis balls do when dogs get their hands on them, is they'll burst like this and split down the middle. I think the reason the other ball survived so long is just because it had that air release hole. So when Charlie bit it, it didn't just burst through the middle, it actually was able to squish down and then squish back up. So yeah, these squeaker ones, although they do have the nice little squeak to them, they don't last as long, but you get a pack of 3, so I really like them. Alright, let's move away from the balls for a moment, and let's go to Tug Toys. So, this is the pretty basic Tug Toy. It's got like a handle on each side, which is pretty crazy. So, you can hold it on, as far as I can tell, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can hold it on both ends and let your dog kind of go nuts on this thing, but I think the actual way to do it is like this, where he gets his bite on there, and then you have this thing. Because, as you might be able to tell there, when I move this over, the handles are actually reversed. See how the big part's here, and then the big part's here? So, if I were to hold this in my hands, as you can see, this one fits the hand the way I want it, but now this one's upside down, because I have the big part on top. So that's why I think you're only supposed to hold one, whichever one you want it to be, and then Charlie or your dog can get his jaw on that, and just go hammer time. As far as Tug Toys go, this one definitely will last a long time, but it's not that comfortable in your grip to hold, and there are some better ones I'll get into. And for the price of it, you know, I think you're just better getting a different one. It's got these ribs in the actual kind of flexing part, but if you get your hand there and then it closes, all these little things just close and pinch your fingers. It really sucks. And it's just not that fun. There's a lot more fun Tug Toys than this. But it works, so I mean, if you're a big fan of Nerf and you're like, I gotta have the Nerf Tug Toy, I still wouldn't say this is the one to get. Let's move to a different one. Behold, the greatest Nerf Tug Toy to ever exist. So this is again Nerf dog, blah, blah, blah. This guy is made of some sort of ripstop fabric, really, really heavy duty stitching, and it really just won't tear open. So as you can see, it's got like rings on all the different sides, and what you do is you hold one of them with your hand and then the dog bites the other side. Now here's what I originally thought. There's actually a hole right in the middle, see? So, because it's hollow in the center, so I thought when you put your hand around it and the dog goes, they could actually, when they, you know, when a dog like chokes up on it, to try and get more bite, I was worried that they would eat your hand. No chance. You can't even see my hand right now. It's pretty much not there. So the dog, if you look at the size of my fist on this thing, the dog's jaw would have to be able to open like double the size of my fist and then over everything to actually be able to nick me. It is really safe. And here's another thing. Hear that? There are actually squeakers in every single side. Now, granted, over the 2 weeks, the 2 squeakers out of the 4 did fail me, so I only have 2 working ones. No, I have 3. There's just the one that's not working. But this thing is more than a Tug Toy, because it's got the squeakers in it, so Charlie loves that. It's also a ball, as you noticed. It's a Tug Ball, which is something you never see, so that's really innovative. They're not just slapping the Nerf brand on a tennis ball. So they're actually doing new stuff here. So this is a Tug Ball that you can tug with or throw. It's got squeakers in it. This is probably one of my favorite ones. I really love this thing. Now, this thing I have mixed feelings about. I can't remember if when I got it, it squeaked or not, but it definitely doesn't now. It has this tassel thing on the end. I don't know. Technically, I think you're supposed to hold this, and the dog bites this, but Charlie always wanted this. And then it's got this elasticated thing, so you put your thumb in this, and do this, and then let go, and it flies. But I can always throw it further, and whenever I let go, it snaps my hand really hard, which really sucks. And if there was a squeaker, it doesn't work. I don't know if there was. There should be. And whenever I'm holding it, Charlie bites this thing and just goes nuts on the elastic. And this one's not my favorite to say. It is an interesting thing. It's a flyer. Maybe I just don't have the flick of the wrist you need. But maybe you can get it going far. If you have a dog that'll run that far. My dog won't do it. This one's not for me. Alright, and we're going to end it off with this one. I had one more, but like I said, I did lose it. It's a Frisbee. It has a squeaker in the middle that is very hard to access. So the dog loves it. Charlie loved it. it's gone. He might have hit it, so I can never take it from him again. I don't know. But this thing has 2 glowing balls, I know, and a centerpiece. And what you see is what you get. It's kind of like when you smack them, they light up. And that makes it easier for a blind dog like mine, who's pretty much going blind, to see stuff like this. He has trouble with regular tennis balls. This thing he can find. So that's very nice. Everything. Hey guys, were you loving that awesome video quality? My camera battery died and all my other ones are dead, so shooting the end of this on the cell phone. As I was mentioning, Charlie's really easy. It's really easy for him to find this thing because it lights up, and it's held up really well. Some of the rubber's starting to tear, and even with me, check this out. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, there. So I tore open the rubber, and it wouldn't be long for any dog slightly bigger or more athletic than Charlie to get this glowing ball out of here. And if I can manage to do that with my hands, a dog can definitely do it with their teeth gnawing on this thing for a few minutes. Yeah, maybe half an hour of actual playtime with this thing, and she's done. So yeah, there's the glowing ball right there. This one, pros and cons, mixed feelings. Give it like a 50% because, of course, it's got the glowy glow, which is cool. Makes it easier for him to find. It's kind of fun to throw. It's like nunchucks or something. But all the holes in it that had to make the glow come out get ripped apart, and then you can remove the ball, and then that would be too small for his throat, and you get the point. Maybe, for some reason, the goal is actually to get these balls out, and then the idea is that once you get this ball out, the dog can play with that, because it does have the Nerf logo on that actual ball, like underneath, which I'm just seeing. But it's a lot smaller, and you buy these toys for the size of your dog, small, medium, or large, and this ball would be too small. I would never buy this for my dog because they could choke on it. That's why you want to get the right size. So I don't like this one, especially because if they were to get that ball out, it would be a hazard. Don't like that, but I like most of them. So let me know what you guys thought about the Nerf dog stuff. And if you don't have a dog, you don't care, you're not a fan, that's okay, because I have been testing and battling with the regulator, which I mentioned that I got last video. So I'm testing with that, and next week we're gonna have my full review on that blaster. So stay tuned for that, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe for new videos every single Saturday. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and as always, this was NerfBoy Productions signing off.